What's up, guys? It is your favorite mums here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is tip number 8, guys, on the day today. Now, this is a bit of a request tip. So, previously I've just been coming, kind of just winging it and just, doing a little tip here, a little tip there and see how we go. This is actually a requested tip. So, I did a really, really short stream yesterday, just a bit of banter stream, because obviously we know FIFA 21 is still not really there yet. So, there's not too much to do in terms of FIFA. And people were talking, just doing some trading, talking and things like that. And somebody mentioned to me, I was looking on FootBin. Someone mentioned to me like that I don't really know how to use FootBin. And, that kind of shocked me because I guess as someone who plays this game, religiously, FootBin is my best friend. I will be on, and look, guys, people who are like, you're probably sponsored by FootBin. You can use Foothead and FootWiz. They're the same kind of thing. I just like FootBin. I find it a lot more user-friendly, and I know my way around it really, really well. So that's what I use. But basically, yeah, someone was just like, I was going to all these different areas, and people were like, oh, I didn't know you could do this. Like, how do you read the graphs on FootBin? How do you do this? How do you search for these things? And I guess I didn't really realize that a lot of people don't know how to use FootBin. Some people probably don't even know what FootBin is. So this video is kind of going to be about how to use FootBin effectively and all the kind of areas on FootBin that you can go to and use that will help you enormously. So if people don't know, like I'm on FootBin all day, every day. If I'm on FIFA for 8 hours, I will have FootBin up on my computer for 8 hours and I will look at it probably a million times in that period, right? So FootBin is a tool that you really, really want to be taking advantage of. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to flip you guys over to the FootBin screen. And I'm just going to show you through some of the different things you can do on FootBin really, really quickly that are really effective and how you can use the graphs and things like that, all right? So let's quickly head over to the FootBin. So here we have footbin.com. I'll put the link in the chat down below if you guys want so you know exactly where to go. Now, I'll show you guys the best things you can do. So there's a lot of things you can do, right? I've gone through this in a video before. If you want to look at Team of the Week predictions, you can actually go to live and you can go to Team of the Week contenders. And it actually shows you exactly, how many minutes players played, how many goals they scored, assists they got, the score line. So if you're trying to do Team of the Week predictions to try and, buy cards before they get Team of the Weeks and stuff like that and try and predict it, you can actually go here and it gives you like a breakdown and you can actually search by goals, positions, all that kind of stuff. Right now, if you don't do anything, it ranks it by goals and assists going down, and that can kind of help you pick that. So that's a really cool tool that I use quite regularly. You've got the market tool here, which you can actually have a look at the index, all right? So what is the index? The index 100 is like the 100 top cards on FIFA. You can have a look at the index gold. So this kind of gives you a general overview of how the gold cards are moving in FIFA. So, you can have a look now. It tells you kind of like a stock market, where it opened up, what its lowest point is, what its highest, and it gives you an overall view, okay? So this is like overall view of gold cards in general. So that's also a very handy thing you can use. Now, the things I use the most are probably the squad builder, the SBC one, and the player search, okay? Now, these are the most effective by far. Squad builder, if you guys didn't know, you want to try and build a squad, right? But you don't know how to find what kind of squads you can build. You can actually go to Foot Squad Builder on FootBin, and you can build your squad. So you can just type in players, and they come up, and you can see, you can try all the different formations, and it just allows you without having to, in an easy way, I guess, without having to do concepts or anything like that, you can build your squads and see how they all link up in the chemistry. And what is really, really good about this is you see these little light bulbs. They give you ideas. So if you're like, okay, well, look, I've got these two. I need to try and get a link here. How am I supposed to link this team up? You can click the light bulbs, and the light bulbs actually give you suggestions of high-rated of like top players that would get chemistry, that would get full chemistry. So as you can see, 10 chemistry, and it goes down. So 10 chemistry, the next one would be 9, and then 7. And it kind of shows you who can get chemistry in those positions. All right, so that is a really, really, really cool method and something that's very handy and I use all the time to try and build my squad. So before I build any squad on actual Foot, I will go onto FootBin squad builders and I will build multiple versions and try and play around with it on FootBin because it's so much easier to play around with rather than going on foot and you're trying to go to concepts and delete the player. And it takes a lot of time, you know. You can just get out of them, change them up, put different players in. If you've got a player in there and you want to change his position, look, you can easily change his position. You can give him loyalty, so he gets the chemistry from loyalty. So you can do all those things. And then it also works out the price of the team. So if you're trying to build a team from scratch, it'll give you the exact price you're probably going to have to spend to buy that team and everything. So very, very good tool. It also gives you a graph of how their prices have fluctuated on your team. So very, very good tool to use. The next tool I want to quickly show you guys is the SBC little tool here. Now there's 3 parts to this that are very handy to use. If you just click on it, where it's going to take you is to the active SBC list. So this gives you a view of the active SBCs. It tells you kind of what people voted for, if they think they're value or not, or if they're good or not. Tells you the price. Now, these prices aren't always 100% accurate, but they're generally around the right price. So it gives you an idea of the price it's going to cost you to do these SBCs. And if you actually click into them, it also gives you completed challenges and stuff like that. So you can actually click on completed challenges and see how other people complete those challenges. You can also see a fluctuation of how the price of this exact SBC has fluctuated on an hourly by hourly base, okay? On an hour base. So that's another thing that is very, very handy. If you go to this button again and you go down to cheapest player by rating, so this is another thing I use quite often, and click on that, it actually ranks every single player as their cheapest version by rating. So if you have a look at 83s, this gives you in order from the cheapest 83 rated downwards, right? And if you want to go see a larger list, you can go to all and view all. This gives you like the top 20, the cheapest 20. So if you're trying to do an SBC and you need to have a look at like what high rated cards are cheap at the time, you can easily just go on here and have a look and see what the cheapest ones are. So that's really easily and really effective just for doing SBCs and getting high rated SBCs done and things like that. So that is another good tool, guys. Now, the last thing I want to quickly show you is basically how to search players. So obviously you've got your player search here. Now, there's lots of things you can search with players, right? So first of all, you've got version. You can go to version. You can actually stick in any version of a card. So you can look at golds, gold rares. Maybe you want to do an SBC where you need 11 gold rares and you want the cheapest gold rare cards you can find. You can legit search gold rare. And then by clicking on this, you can order them. So right now, so look, if I click on it once, it orders the cards from most expensive to cheapest in the whole game. If I click on it again, it'll go the other way around. So cheapest to most expensive. So you can set a filter to rare golds and then set it to cheapest to most expensive. And then you can see what gold rares are the cheapest at the time. All right. You can search team of the weeks, OTWs, all those kind of stuff, guys. So another very, very effective tool. How I like to also use this site, guys, is a question that I get asked a lot. And this kind of confuses me, I guess, and it did confuse me anyways. Hang on, I need a bit of coffee, boys. Sorry about that. It did kind of confuse me because people would always come into my stream and ask me, yo, two mums, like, what is the cheapest player I could buy for 200k? You know, I need a Premier League player that's 200k, striker. Who can I get? And like, they legitimately have no clue who to get. And I'm just thinking like, I mean, look, I'm happy to help, and I do help. But in my head, I'm kind of thinking, mate, just go on FootBin. Go on FootBin and put the parameters in, your search parameters in, and it'll give you a list. So I'm going to show you how you can do that right now. So look, if I'm looking for any card, okay, it doesn't really matter if it's an icon or not, but I'm trying to find a really good striker under a certain budget. So I've got 300,000 coins to spend, and I need a striker, okay, or an attacking player. You can go to positions, first of all. Now, some people are like, oh, but, you know, sometimes cams can make good attackers, but you can only search center forward, striker, or you can only search center mids. If you go to advanced, you can actually click exactly what areas you want to search by. So I can go striker, center forward, cam, and center mid. So that gives me a wide variety of the central cards that could make good attackers. Select and search. So right now I've got, it's only coming up with players that are in those positions. Next, if I need a certain league, so the person that might ask me says, I need a Premier League player. Okay. I can search by Premier League. Now I've got all Premier League players in that position. I've got a budget. So maybe on PlayStation, PS, my budget is 300,000 coins. I'll just put a minimum of, say, 20,000, because you have to put a minimum. You can put it 10,000, 5,000. Doesn't really matter. And now, once again, this is giving me a list now of all the players that are under 300,000 coins in that position and in the Premier League. Now, if you want to narrow your search down further, depending on how you play, you can also look by weak foot, work rate, sorry, weak foot and skill move. So if you're a person that needs a 5-star weak foot, or like I like to do is stats. So if I'm looking for an attacker, a lot of people like pace, right? So I might want 90 plus pace on my attacker. They have to have between 90 and 99 pace. I want them to have good shooting. So they need to have 90 plus shooting. I need to have good dribbling on them. So 99 plus dribbling. Defending doesn't matter. If it's a striker, I'm not really fussed on passing, so I'll just leave that for now. And physicals, I'll leave that for now, right? So I can filter by that. And now it will come up with players who only fall into these parameters. So have 90 plus pace, 90 plus shooting, 90 plus dribbling, are in the Premier League, in those positions under 300k. And there's a list. Gives me, it narrows it down to that many people. These are all in my price range. They all fit the position I need, the league I need, and they all have the attributes that I would like. And then from there, obviously, you can just go through, click on them and look at them in detail in order to choose which one you want. So that's a really easy way to break it down. And that's how I choose all my players. If I'm not sure about a player and I'm like, I've got 1 million coins, I want the best player possible, I will do this. And then I'll compare players. So once you're in this as well, you can go to compare. And you can actually compare players. So I've got Rashford there as well. So I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. Do I want Richarlison or Rashford once I've done my search? I can actually go to this and compare them next to each other. So green means they've got a higher stat than their opponent. Red obviously means their stat is less. And you can go down and compare them. Compares their total stats and everything. You can even put the chemistry on them. So yeah, once again, very, very common thing. Now, another thing, guys, is once you're inside the player, so you've clicked on a player and you're looking at their stats and things, right? You can look at all their in-game stats. But this is what's really cool. You can put chemistry styles on them, because that's another question I get a lot. You go, two mums, what chem style should I put on my Richarlison? I don't know what to use on him, what benefits him the most. Now, obviously, once again, I'm happy to help. But if you want a general view, you can go on FootBin. So look, it has all your info and all your traits and stuff like that. Has all your stats, but it has chem styles on the side here. So I can actually set how much chem style. So if my player's only going to be on 7 chem, I can set that, 10 chem, and I can click the different chem styles, and look, it tells me how that card gets boosts, and then even gives me what their new rating would be in a certain position. So he would now become, with a sniper, he would become a 96.7 rated striker. Okay? Not a 93, which is what he started with. Finisher, Deadeye, Hawk. So look, you can put them all on and kind of see what FootBin thinks their new rating would be. And then just gives you a good, easy way to check out a view. So look, I mean, a marksman's pretty good on that card. And then if you want an overall view of what other people are doing, if you go right down to the bottom, this is a voting system of what other people are using. So 326 people have voted. And you've got 56% of the votes are using an engine on him. 25% are using a marksman. So that is the two most common. And that kind of gives you an idea. Well, look, I should probably be using an engine on him or a marksman. That it seems to be the general consensus of what people are using on this card. So once again, another easy thing. And then the last thing, guys, you want to look for is the graphs. So graphs are all about trading. You can click on these to add different things. So that's PC, the orange line. And take these away. You want to do PC. You want to do Xbox. And if you want to do PS. And these basically give you an average, right? That's what I got to explain. They give you an average. So it says here, his price on May 28th, Thursday, was 1.4 million. Okay, that was an average price. So his price could have fluctuated on that day from 1.4 to 1.5. Could have fluctuated anywhere between there. But on an average throughout the day, it was at that price, at 1424, all right, on average. So you can do that and check daily by daily. And that's a really good way to look at trends on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, obviously, and over long periods. If you want to look at like day trading and you want to look at like hourly, how a card's fluctuating on the hourly, you can just click on hourly graphs and it gives you the last 3 days. So you got today, yesterday, Saturday, last 3 days, and you can look on an hourly basis of exactly how their price has changed. Once again, it's an average. So this card during that hour could have actually gone up to 258, but the average for that card over that hour was 255. Okay, so it's not always 100% accurate because it is an average, but it gives you a very, very good idea. And then the last thing, guys, if you want to narrow things down, so when I do examples for you guys sometimes, I narrow things down. You can actually click where you want to view the graph from. So the graph starts on May the 1st, 2020, over here, okay? If I want to get a closer view, I can change my date. So maybe instead of the 9th, I go to the 7th, and I click enter, and there you go. Now it's taking me from the May the 1st to the 7th. All right, and I can even narrow that down further if I want to narrow it down further. All right, so yeah, really, really easy, guys. But yeah, that is basically the video. There's a lot of things you guys can do. I recommend, honestly, having a play around with Futbin, guys, and just trying to figure out all the different things you can do with it, because there's probably even more you can do with it. I didn't want to make this video too long and too much information because I feel like I already just gave you guys a lot of information. But I think you guys should go have a play around with it. There is a lot of things you can do. But really, if you're a diehard Road to Glory person and you're trading, you're investing, you're running a proper Road to Glory, like an in-depth Road to Glory, Futbin, FootWiz, Foothead, those 3 sites, like I said, Futbin's the one I like to use, are your best friend, all right, guys? You will use them for SBCs, you will use them for trading, you'll use them for picking chem styles, you use it for picking what players you want, you'll use them for finding sniping filters, you'll use it to find cards to trade with, you'll use it for team of the week, you'll use it just about for everything, all right? So yeah, there you go, guys. If this video helped you out, man, if you learned something that you didn't know before, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I will see you guys on the next one. FIFA 21 coming out very, very soon. Going to be a lot of content coming on the channel when it does drop, so hopefully I see you guys in the stream, on the YouTube, and just in general. Catch you, boys.